Hello guys, watching another YouTube video. It's your boy LilBoy24 here, and today is another review on Fantastic Four, but with spoilers. This is a spoiler video, so be careful. I'm going to talk about the story. I'm going to talk about giving it more detail. I'm going to talk about the post-credit scene, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, this movie was surprisingly a good and interesting story. Okay, honestly, how they did it was good. I think the story was amazing. Like, straight out, seeing the Fantastic Four from the start, fighting their iconic villains from comic book, a monkey, the mole man, I forgot the freaking monster, I don't even remember that. Great way how to start it, right? And then you see Sue Storm, and you see Mr. Fantastic getting a kid, Franklin, they named it. Seeing them being pregnant, giving birth to a baby, you seen that was amazing too. I think that was perfect. Another perfect story. And then seeing Johnny Storm, all these characters' story development, like Johnny Storm actually figuring out stuff was pretty cool to see, because we know Johnny Storm used throughout the movie is there. He's smart, but he acts stupid very much, and he doesn't show his abilities, his smartness, right? In this one, you reality do see him. You see him that he focuses on his work, and he's very much smart, but at the same time, he's that goofy, funny guy that likes girls very much. Say, like Human Torch that we all know. Very much great to see. Yeah, honestly, I really like the story between everyone, and like how they use Silver Surfer too was Human Torch. Like, you kind of just see the bond between Human Torch and Silver Surfer and stuff. Silver Surfer was a perfect thing, and I wish we didn't see her die. She does die. I don't think she died. We don't know if she died, because honestly, she most likely is alive, but very far away where Earth is at, let's say. Straight out, because she just pushes Galactus back in the orb. So, straight out, the end of the movie, they figure out how to bait Galactus to make him go to a different part of the universe. To use his teleportation device that he's been trying to make throughout the movie. He makes a bigger version of it, and because of that, he's like, okay, let's teleport this guy into a different universe very far away. And that's what he does do. So he's like, well, we need a bait. So they use their kid, puts him in the middle. But Galactus is pretty smart, so when he came down, goes to the middle, he realized this is a bait, and he goes like, okay, they don't have the kid here anymore. They look around, it's actually at Reed Richards' place, what do you call it? I forgot what you call it. The Bax Tower or something like that. I'm not for sure, not gonna lie. But straight out, the Fantastic Four Tower, I'm just gonna say. And straight goes towards that way, almost grabs the kid, almost eats the kid, but then Reed Richards takes the kid from his hands and pushes him right into the teleportation thing. But Galactus was coming out slowly and steady, but Silver Surfer pushes him right into it. And then after that, they won, they survived, and they defeated Galactus because of Silver Surfer and their brain power of making a teleportation to teleport them into a different universe. And after that, how they ended off is they go into the news place, and then after that, they realize that there's a new attack because they get an alert on their phone saying, oh, warning, another attack. And they go fly away, and then that's the end of the movie. And you see how I say it, it's like, I feel like I rushed it too, but that's how it really went. It really went from Galactus coming in, Galactus going in the center with a teleportation, baby in middle, realize the baby's not in the middle, goes to the tower, doesn't find it, Reed Richards saved his baby from Galactus, because Galactus grabs the baby, straight out, gets slowly pushed into the Superstorm, the teleportation by Sue Storm, pushing him into it, and straight out, boom, boom. It goes to point so fast. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but, between Galactus and Silver Surfer and the rest, I feel like it was a little rushed. The only part I did like about the end of the movie, and this is why I don't say I hate it, is how they used Sue Storm in it. Like, they were losing very much, very badly, because straight out, Galactus has his kid, their kid. Straight out, it's a lose-win right now. But Sue Storm used all her power to push him into teleportation and told Reed Richards to grab their baby, and he does. And then she kept pushing and pushing Galactus to the teleporter, and that was like the most best scene you could ever see. You're like, oh my god, damn, Sue Storm, you're like strong. Like she was showing her power in this movie, guys. It is unbelievable what she was doing. But yeah, she sacrificed her life, and Galactus gets pushed in. The Galactus almost came back out, but Silver Surfer put him right back into teleportation, and straight out, Sue Storm falls on the ground and dies. Oof, what a scene. I almost cried, actually. It was like, you're like, oh my god, no way. They ain't kill Sue Storm. Nah. But, they didn't. Franklin, the baby, was the very much powerful. Franklin is the most powerful superhero ever in the Marvel Universe, right? But yeah, freaking Franklin touches his mom, like, on her chest, right? Straight out crying. And then he puts his powers in her body, practically, and she comes right back alive. That was the coolest part to see. I really love that. My dad didn't understand it. My dad said, baby brought back the mother life. He literally he took a 90-degree turn and he said, Joseph, did this baby just saved her? A baby? Yeah, I said, Dad, yes. This is Franklin. In comic books, it's the most powerful kid. Okay. And he's like, oh, okay. It's because he didn't know. But straight out, perfect. I think that was the most perfect thing out of the ending. But honestly, I think they rushed the battle between Galactus very much really fast. I think they did, at least. I feel like it felt a little rushed with their fight between Galactus, and I wish it was a little bit longer because, I feel like the battle should have been like 20 minutes, but I don't even think it was 20 minutes. I don't know. The fights between Galactus and the Fantastic Four, it felt like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to me at least. I know it could have been me. It could just be me saying something. And I don't know, my opinion, I think it could have been longer. It could have been better with the fight scenes. But even though the fight scenes were not the greatest, right? In a way, how they play the story in it, like with Sue Storm wise, was amazing. And Johnny Storm trying to sacrifice himself for the baby too. Straight out, I think they did really good. Was the story of the ending. I think they just rushed it really fast. And then how they ended it off, how they quickly, like, oh, we gotta go, we gotta fight. Is they have that little funny moment, but at the end of it, they don't show us who they're gonna go battle, and they ended it off like that. And I was like, wow, that's how they're gonna end it off. Okay, not a bad ending. For me, it felt a little rushed with the ending. Definitely was a Galactus battle, but nothing where it's like terrible, I just think it could have been better, definitely. But the first and the middle and the start were amazing. I really loved the start and the middle. A great way to introduce the character, a great way to start the battle, a great way to lead us into the final act, the final battle between Galactus. But I just think a little bit rushed in the ending. Then you get to the post-credit scene that I'm going to talk about right now. Is that straight out, the post-credit scene takes place 4 years after the battle between Galactus and all that stuff, right? And you see her reading a book with Franklin, right? Franklin's about 4 to 5 years old. She's reading a book to Franklin, and she's like, can we read another book? And Sue Storm's like, yeah, sure, let me go get another book. Tells Herbie, hey, can you give me one of the new books Franklin likes? And he gives this big book that has maybe 50 chapters. It's for a teenager or adult to read. And I'm like, damn, bro, I can't even read that book. And Franklin read it within a day or something. Brother, no way. But now she's like, no, give me that book. It's like a kid's book. That's a book I can read. And straight out, she hears something. She slowly brings out her powers and slowly goes up to it and realizes Dr. Doom is with her kid. What? I was shocked. My mouth was like, huh? And then they ended off like that. And then we did have an end credit, but the end credit wasn't something that was so important to the story like Captain America Brave New World had, or maybe Thunderbolts, right? It's kind of like a Thunderbolts post-credit, end credit. Because Thunderbolts end credit and post-credit one was a joke, and then one was reality for the story. And I think they should just switch it up to make it better. But that's Marvel Studios. But the end credit was just a TV that was playing the animation of the Fantastic Four. Well, all the characters that we see, but in animation. And you see throughout the episode fighting little small villains, having the Fantastic Four theme song in the background, and then Herbie turns the TV, and then that's the end of the showing. And I was like, oh, so that's what I waited for. I didn't like that part. But like the post-credit scene was something I was like, okay, I know what they're doing. If you guys don't see it, I think what is happening was Captain America, Thunderbolts, and this one is that they're not reality hinting. They're not like this is just showing us what they're gonna be playing out in the Doomsday movie. Like straight out by the looks of it. Mainly I'm going to talk about Thunderbolt in Fantastic Four. What this is telling me, how I am looking at it, is that this is gonna happen in Doomsday. In part of the Avengers Doomsday movie, we're gonna have to see the Fantastic Four going to our MCU, and this is when Thunderbolt sees that, and this is how we're gonna see that scene from the end credits of Thunderbolts connecting to Doomsday. And then with Fantastic Four's in post-credit scene, it's just showing us what is Doomsday's plan. This is showing us what he's doing, and obviously what he's doing is he's trying to take the power of Franklin, because we all know Franklin's power is really powerful in the comic books. So it wouldn't make sense for Dr. Doom wanting to take that power. So we're gonna see that with that. I think it's just giving us hints. And it's giving us little story details of what is gonna happen with Avengers Doomsday, and that's how I at least see it. Like how I feel like is Dr. Doom is gonna take Franklin. Is gonna take Franklin to the MCU, and that's why we see the Fantastic Four ship going to the MCU, because they're following Dr. Doom. That's how I see it. You know, it could be different. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's a better way of me explaining the post-credit scene. Maybe there's someone else's theory that makes more sense than my theory. But, you know, seeing those post-credit scene and end-credit scenes of Thunderbolt and Fantastic Four, I just think it's just giving us hints of Avengers Doomsday, at least. But, yeah, honestly, I think that how Sue Storm died and came back was good. I really do enjoy that. I think everything else was really good. Straight out throughout the story. I just think the ending was straight out very fast, very rushed. I think it could have been better. I feel like they could have been more a little bit. I feel like if it had that 30 to 20 minutes extra, would have been perfect. Another thing I think what I don't really like about the post-credit scene is that we see Dr. Doom, right? But then after that, we're like, we don't even know Dr. Doom. I feel like this Fantastic Four movie should have introduces to Dr. Doom by kind of some way. What I told my dad, what I would have loved about the end credit should have been like it was like a 2-minute end credit. So like a 2-minute of animation of the Fantastic Four fighting Dr. Doom before like the in post credit scene, before Franklin, right? That would have been awesome to see. Like, I wanted to see Dr. Doom and Sue Storm, like a past thing to see. I would love to see a past fight scene within Dr. Doom versus the Fantastic Four, but we didn't. You know, that would kind of bum me out, I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, either way, still a good Fantastic Four movie. I think it's a lot better than the other Fantastic Four movie by a long shot, but could have been better. I think they rushed the ending too much. I think they needed like a 10-minute extra. Need like 30 more minutes, 20 more minutes extra footage to make that ending a little bit better. But either way, this movie still gets an 8 out of 10. Could have been better, but still love it. So it gets an 8 out of 10. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the sub, hit the like. You want to see future videos? Yeah, hit the sub, hit the like, and yeah, have a great day.